G'day Brucers and Sheilers, again, welcome back. I can't do that for too long, I'm sorry. Just so you all know, I live in Australia, the land down under. I get confused quite often for someone who is American or Canadian, and I've been stopped while I'm working at different places. When I used to work in hospitality, I used to get stopped by customers all the time, demanding in the middle of service to know where I'm from. It got to the point where I'd used to play a game with them. Like, you have 3 guesses. If you can guess where I'm from, in those 3 guesses, I will pay for your coffee. I never paid for a single coffee. And my username is Lil Half and Half. And one of those halves is White Australian. It's got some other stuff in there too, but Australian. I've lived in Australia since I was 3 years old, and I've been growing up with a true blue Aussie spirit for almost 20 years. Most of my memory, if not all of my childhood memories, are of me living in Australia, so I'm gonna tell you about it. Whenever I attempt the Australian accent, it always morphs into something else, and I don't know how to stop it. It's probably for the better that I just don't attempt it. Today, we are working with... No! Wow! Wow! That is so pretty. So we're gonna start with that today. We are again on theme with some blue today. Being true blue Aussie. I have a series of bird mugs in my house, and this is the Laughing Kookaburra. I love these so much, and they're so pretty. In 2007, when I went to Queensland to go visit the theme parks with my family, because Australia just has to put all of their theme parks in one area, thanks. Or all the good ones at least. At our hotel, on the balcony railing, we found a kookaburra, and it let us come up to it and feed it. I remember there's that one poem meme on the internet about a kookaburra being addicted to sausages, and it looks so happy. And have you ever heard a kookaburra laugh? I hear them out on my grandparents' farm, just laughing in the morning and at night. It's a very fun place. Speaking about my grandparents' farm, welcome to Australia. It is full of dangerous animals, but not so many that your life will be in danger if you step out of the house. At my grandparents' farm, as it is more rural Australia, but it's not outback Australia, I remember my brothers and I playing underneath a trampoline. Yes, underneath a trampoline. There aren't very many smart people in my family. And underneath the trampoline, we saw maybe 10 meters away, a snake. And it is drilled into us as Australian children that if you see a snake in the wild, you do not run, you do not approach it. You stand still and wait for it to pass and go on its merry way. Many snakes aren't actually confrontational, to my knowledge. I've watched enough of David Attenborough to know. But we stayed still. Then one of my brothers dared to run and go get my pa after the snake had slithered out of sight. And he just said, "Did you stay still?" We were like, "Yeah." He's like, "Good." Smart kids. Not really. And speaking of animal encounters, I remember back at my high school, there were multiple occurrences of kangaroos just jumping around. It would only be one at a time, and I think it happened maybe 2 or 3 times, but we just get an announcement sometime, be like, "Okay, everyone stay inside, there's a kangaroo on the grounds, don't approach it, just stay in your class and we'll let you know when it's gone." And yes, it is a stereotype of Australia, like ride a kangaroo to school, and there used to be memes like, "No, the cool kids ride emus, duh." But there is actually plenty of wildlife, even at schools. You could walk around and not run into, but you'd see plenty of kangaroos, wombats, echidnas. Me and my best friend, when I was 10, we went walking out and found an echidna just strolling by the beach, and we tried to take a picture of it, but then it moved just a little bit very slowly and we ran off screaming. I was not brave. But yeah, because my high school was very close to some fields, I want to say. What are they called? It was close to paddocks, that's what they're called, paddocks. We just had a lot of kangaroos come in, or kangaroos nearby, because, they could. And just to be clear, I live in the suburbs. So it's not rural Australia where you'd expect that kind of thing. It's the suburbs where there are buses, there are shopping centers, shopping malls. Like, it's a busy time. And there's just kangaroos. I find it kinda scary about how many dangerous animals there are, but then I forget about them until I actually see them. Just the other day, we found redback spiders in the garage, and instead of freaking out, even though they're one of the most deadly spiders you can get in Australia, you're just like, oh, just get the bug spray. That's how conditioned we are to Australian animals. We're just like, bye. But I will say, while there's a lot of dangerous wildlife, there is also some beautiful, beautiful wildlife too. And I love the birds in particular, if you couldn't tell. Do you know about those demon birds, the cassowary? Oh, that's a bird from hell. And I have fed one out of the palms of my hands. I dared to do that to the devil bird, and it just pecked it out, and it was kind of scary, but it worked. I've also hand-fed kangaroos and emus at like an emu farm or something like that, and they are angry. They are so angry. But the birds, right? We used to have a pet one of these. It is a rainbow lorikeet. I love my bugs. They sound so nice, and I hear them in the morning where I live, and I love it so much. I just love birds. Australia is just really cool. I like it very much. The actual city of Melbourne, the CBD, is actually also really fun to go to. They've got the Melbourne Cat Cafe, they've got the Crown Promenade, where you've got like some street performers sometimes. Of course, not now, but it was there. I love the Melbourne Museum. I also love the Melbourne Aquarium. They've had penguins at the aquarium. I love penguins. For me, Melbourne's just got it all. Like, you don't really need to travel to many other places to experience stuff that Melbourne has. Aside from, of course, culturally different things, like going to Japan to experience the onsen, or to England to experience 10 months of rain. There you go. There you go. Oh, there you go. There you go. Ooh, that's number 5. If I had forever, I could probably talk your ear off about like the Australian wildlife, all the fun things to do here. There are a couple of local festivals, and at a lot of them you have animal experiences, meaning a handler comes in, presents you with so many animals, birds, snakes. I've held multiple crocodiles, and I don't know if they do that everywhere else, but I've held a whole plethora of animals. Like, I met this snake once, tiny little snake called Tiffany. It was like a pygmy snake or something like that, and the handler just had her wrapped around one little finger like, hey, this is Tiffany. And I was like, oh my god, Tiffany, you're gorgeous. Oh my god, I forgot Phillip Island. I love Phillip Island. Phillip Island, for those who don't know, is an Australian tourist attraction in Victoria that has the penguin parade. I've been a couple of times, but the time that I most remember is when I was a little girl. I'm gonna say I was about 6 or 7. And my family took a trip to Phillip Island, and it was, I believe, winter. So that was not a fun time. But we ended up going to the penguin parade, and due to daylight savings, it got dark really quickly. And we didn't see many penguins before we were too frozen to stay out there anymore. So we had to go back in. Back in the day, they just had wooden pews facing the beach that you could see the penguins like waddle up onto the shore in a line. Oh, the part that I most vividly remember doesn't even have anything to do with the penguins. It's that this lady, because there were so many people around, of course there were going to be seagulls. They were flying above, walking around, just waiting for someone to throw them some food. And this lady looked up and she was talking, and a seagull did its business in her mouth from above. And then she spat it out and she was screaming for a napkin like, somebody get me a tissue! Oh, my brothers and I were just cackling. And I feel really sorry for that lady because it must have been disgusting, and I feel bad for laughing, but like 7-year-old me just couldn't contain herself. And I think it's a very fond memory I share with my brothers. That was That was a good time. And I said something that gross in front of all 5 of our cranes. We're looking like we're having a good collection here. Ta-da! So next time, we can talk about Australian slang and linguistics, because I think it's hilarious, honestly. My friends from overseas, when they learn about the Australian slang, they are baffled. Like, how does that possibly mean that? What do you mean? And it's just a fun thing to quiz them on. But they're slowly getting it. Just like me with this crane making process. We've done 5 out of 1,000. We only have to do this 200 more times. We can manage it. Is there a bogan way to say bye? Because I know there's hello. You know what? I think there is an Australian word for goodbye. It just contains a swear word. So, I will see you next time. I hope it's tomorrow. The next time. Bye!